he also chose three other men to be his officers. He gave them authority over the 120 rulers. The king wanted to be sure that they were working well. Daniel was one of the three officers. Daniel did his work much better than the other officers, the other two officers, and 120 rulers. He was very good at his job. Daniel was so good that the king wanted to make him ruler over the whole kingdom. That's a crazy offer and thought. The other officers and rulers were jealous. Jealous. Hello, Jason Wilson. They wanted to find something bad about Daniel so that they could tell the king. They're going to stab Daniel in the back. What they're saying. They watched how Daniel worked to serve the king. Before I read more, I want to say something. He's not serving the king. So, right here, when it says, they watched how Daniel worked to serve the king, right? Well, matter of fact, he was not serving. Got the R, yeah. He was not serving the king. He was, yeah, right. He was not the king, King Darius. He was serving God. He was serving God in his works. He kept his mind on God and not the people around him. Kept his mind on God. That's what made him a good worker, because of God. God gave him the knowledge and the ability to know what he's doing. The power. That's the crazy thing about God. God will give you something. Like, he'll give you a job that you'll be great at. You just don't know it. You don't know. You're like, oh my gosh, I am not going to be good at this job. But you turn around and you're like, whoa, dang, God, he knew. And you didn't know. He knows the day that you think of it, or he thinks of it. God thinks of it. You don't even know what's happening, but you know it's going to happen. Or he knows it's going to happen. You don't. He knows the future. You don't. And you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this job. Well, you haven't started, but God knows. He's going to make a plan for you. He's going to make it work. If he does not make it work, it's not meant to be. Amen, amen. let's continue. But they could not find that he did nothing wrong, because they didn't believe in God. These two officers, they only believed in their king Darius. That was because Daniel was so good and honest. He always did everything properly. The two officers said to each other, "We cannot find anything that Daniel does wrong in his work. We must find something that he does to obey the laws of his God." So they found out. They found out that that Jesus, that he's following his God, his laws, and so let's find out. So the officers and rulers agreed together. So the 120 rulers and the two officers that are against, that are jealous from Daniel, because Daniel is doing a good job at his work, and they're just jealous because the King Darius is keeping his eyes on him and not the two officers or the 120 rulers. But that's the officers' job, is to keep their eyes on the rulers. So I don't know. So the officers and the rulers agreed together what they would do. They went to King Darius and they said, "King Darius, live forever. All the officers in the kingdom Sorry, I'm getting spammed right now. All the officers. Well, it says all the officers, but it should be all the. There's 120 rulers and there's 3 officers, but there's two men that are jealous. So, all the rulers in the kingdom have decided on a good idea. All the rulers, the judges, the wise people, and the leaders in the different regions agree. We